Welcome to the deep dive. If you're settled in, or maybe cruising down the highway, get ready. Today, we're digging into, well, more than just the miles.
Yeah, we're looking at the unseen stuff, the battles, the shifts happening in trucking right now.
Exactly. From new laws to new tech popping up at the docks, there's quite a bit going on under the surface.
So our mission today, we've got a stack of recent sources, legislative stuff, new technology, even a pretty sobering story. We want to pull out the key insights for you.
Right. Not just what's happening, but why it matters.
The big question really is, how does all this industry news actually hit your life behind the wheel?
And crucially, what can you maybe do about it? Not just get by, but actually thrive.
Our guide, as always, inspired by Hervey from Life as a Trucker, is looking at everything from all angles.
Yeah, connecting every story back to you, your experience, what it means day to day.
And we've got a good mix of sources: policy debates, tech advancements, changing how fleets run things.
And also really important stuff like driver well-being, personal power, giving you the tools to stay informed and stay in control.
Okay, let's hit the road then. First stop. The immediate realities, things drivers face every single day.
And for so many truckers, that day starts and ends with a huge headache, sometimes even danger. Finding a safe place to park.
Oh, it's massive, nationwide. Our sources kept pointing to Pennsylvania as a hotspot for this.
Drivers are literally, quote, scrambling to find safe parking every night.
Yeah. And look, this isn't just annoying. It can be life or death stuff.
Seriously. Imagine you're out of hours. Legally, you have to stop, right? But where? Sketchy lots? Highway off-ramps? You're risking fines? Or worse, your safety.
It's not sustainable. I saw that quote too, the driver saying, I stopped driving 90 minutes early just to find a space.
90 minutes. Think about that lost time, lost revenue, just gone. Poof. Because you need a legal, safe spot.
And when you look at it from all angles, well, drivers are risking everything trying to follow the rules.
While lawmakers, often slow. Parking isn't exactly sexy legislation, is it?
Not at all. And then you've got shippers, brokers. Their main thing is on-time delivery.
Right. Not necessarily the conditions you're dealing with to get that delivery there.
It's a big disconnect. Now, some companies, some travel centers, they are trying to expand parking.
But a lot of the push, it seems, comes from independent groups, driver campaigns.
Yeah, because as they say, you can't automate a parking space. You need actual ground, lights, facilities.
So the real takeaway here, this parking crisis, it's more than just inconvenient. It shows a kind of systemic failure to provide basic needs.
And it forces drivers into these awful choices just to comply.
So for you listening right now, how does this mess with your safety, your time, your ability to just do your job right? It's foundational.
It really affects quality of life and that pressure, those basic needs. Well, that ties into who even wants to get into trucking.
Which leads us right to our next point. Getting and keeping drivers, especially military veterans.
Right. So the House passed a bill. The idea is to make it easier for veterans to get their CDL.
Okay. How?
Well, letting military truck training count towards civilian CDL requirements, covering fees, testing costs, that sort of thing.
Sounds good on paper. Trying to tackle that driver shortage, right?
Yeah.
Over 60,000 needed.
Exactly. Seems like a perfect match. You've got disciplined people. The industry needs drivers.
There's always a but, isn't there?
Yeah.
The twist is a lot of veterans are apparently saying, nah, I'll pass.
Yeah. So why? Why the hesitation when they have these great skills?
What are the sources saying?
It comes down to some pretty solid reasons. Long stretches away from home. I mean, after years deployed. Understandable, they don't want more of that.
Makes sense.
Then there's pay that, quote, often doesn't match the sacrifice. And mental health concerns, isolation, high stress, that's tough.
I saw that quote from a veteran. I didn't leave the Army to sit in a truck alone for 70 hours a week. That hits hard.
It really does. And it shows, look, veterans have the skills, logistics, safety, discipline, precision, all that. Sure. But the ball's in trucking's court to change the job itself. It's got to be more than just marketing fluff hiring programs.
Needs real support, like you see from maybe veteran-owned companies or nonprofits.
Exactly. Genuine support. So this whole situation, it just highlights that challenge. Attracting good people and keeping them.
The industry has to offer a future people actually want, one that respects them,
Respects their past sacrifices, their current needs. For you listening, this story reflects those wider industry struggles.
Okay, let's shift gears from today's realities. Let's navigate towards the future.
Tech time.
Tech time. And let's try that all angles approach here. Who really wins with this new fleet tech?
Is it help or maybe Big Brother?
Yeah. The future just backed into the dock, right?
Right.
Okay, sources mention three main technologies making noise.
Blame on us.
First, Bosch Fleet Me. That's about predictive maintenance, tracking wear and tear, fluids, component health, real-time stuff.
Okay, predict. Then, Philips Connect Tech Assist. Think AI-powered remote diagnostics for trailers. Checks brakes, tires, lights.
Got it. Trailers too.
And third, Fleetworthy Smart Tiles. Basically, a dashboard tool for compliance tracking. ELD data, inspections, permits, all in one place.
All right, so the promise sounds great. Efficiency, fewer breakdowns. But what are drivers actually saying? Is it all positive?
Well, mixed bag, honestly. From the driver's seat, yeah. Potential upsides, more data, less guessing.
That could mean fewer breakdowns, right? Less time stuck at a shop.
Exactly. Fewer tows, fewer missed loads, fewer hours sitting at the shop. That's a definite win. Less downtime.
But the other side.
The flip side is the more monitoring feeling, the big brother concern.
Like dispatch knowing you had Taco Bell instead of Love's.
Kind of, yeah. That fear of being flagged for non-work stops. Some drivers compare it to, quote, the ELD era all over again.
Right, that initial resistance to electronic logging devices feeling watched.
Increased oversight, sometimes feeling intrusive.
So that's key. For this tech to really stick, it needs to clearly help the driver, not just the fleet's bottom line, shared value.
Absolutely. Otherwise, you get resistance. So who benefits most?
Fleets.
Absolutely, sources say. Efficiency, cost savings, it's clear for them.
Owner-operators. Ooh.
That's a maybe. Could help stay ahead of maintenance, sure, but you've got subscription costs and setup time. That can be a hurdle.
And company drivers.
Mixed bag. Convenience for some, maybe more tracking for others. Depends on the company culture, too, probably.
And the less than honest carriers.
Sources say they won't touch it. This kind of tech exposes shady practices.
Makes sense. So the driver consensus seems pretty blunt.
Yeah, that quote. Cool, but if it adds work without adding pay, it's a no for me, dog.
Huh. Tells you everything, doesn't it? It's got to make your job easier, not just add oversight. How do you make sure this tech works for you? That's the question.
Control. Exactly. And speaking of control and bigger forces, let's head down to Florida. Interesting merger happening there.
The freight supergroup.
That's what the sources called it. The Florida Trucking Association, the FTA, has basically absorbed the Professional Movers Association of Florida, PMAF.
So truckers and movers under one big roof now in Florida.
Pretty much the goal. One big unified voice for policy, for advocacy, protecting the industry.
You know, strength in numbers.
Bigger numbers, bigger influence when they talk to politicians.
That's the idea. FTA leadership sees it as elevating professionalism, strengthening advocacy, more clout.
But
yeah,
looking at all angles again, how do the movers feel?
Mixed reactions there, too. Some are excited. Others are nervous that, household moving doesn't get lost in the shuffle. Specific needs might get overlooked.
And what about independent truckers? Does a bigger group help the little guy?
That's the question they're asking. Sure, a louder voice could help everyone, but will these big orgs focus on the big carriers?
Or the owner-operator hauling local loads in a sleeper with 600,000 miles on it?
Exactly. Lawmakers, though, they probably like having one more organized, more polished, and harder to ignore group to deal with. Simpler for them. So the insight here is this consolidation is about strategic influence. A move towards bigger, more unified representation.
Could really change the game, yeah. A new era of state-level freight unity that reshapes the whole industry.
So for you, listening, it's worth watching how these mergers affect regulations, support, even how the public sees trucking. It all trickles down to your daily work.
Big picture stuff.
Definitely. Okay, let's move into our final section. This is about personal empowerment, turning challenges into opportunities.
But first, a really sobering story out of Texas. A cautionary tale about desperation.
Yeah, this one's tough. A trucker pleaded guilty to human smuggling. Took $9,000 to hide two people in his cab.
Caught by an X-ray scan at a Border Patrol checkpoint. The consequences are severe. It's incredibly dangerous for everyone involved.
It's easy to just condemn it, but we need to ask why. Why take that risk?
Desperation. Sources point right to it. The financial pressure on drivers can be immense.
Fuel costs. Those predatory lease purchase deals we hear about, companies paying slow, lack of benefits.
Yeah, and suddenly, $9,000 cash. Well, it can look like freedom if you're really backed into a corner.
There's also maybe a false confidence, thinking they won't get caught.
Possibly, but law enforcement tech is sophisticated, and the risk, it's just astronomical. It's not just illegal, it's dangerous.
Looking at the different perspectives, law enforcement sees a crime, plain and simple. No gray area.
Right. The undocumented people involved are often desperate themselves, fleeing terrible situations.
And the whole trucking industry takes a reputation hit every time this happens.
Leads to more checkpoints, more scans, more suspicion for all the good, honest drivers out there.
And other drivers, understandably furious, they feel like it messes it up for all of us.
It really points to a deeper issue, though, beyond just one person's bad choice.
The system itself
Yeah, the sources admit the industry still underpays too many drivers, offers too little financial education, maybe turns a blind eye to shady dispatchers.
creates an environment where someone might feel that desperate.
Exactly. So the insight isn't just don't break the law. It's that systemic failures in pay and support create vulnerabilities. Dangerous ones.
Makes you think, doesn't it? How does this story affect your view of risk? And what stable options are you exploring so you're never in that position?
And that leads perfectly to our final point. Getting beyond the grind. Taking control.
We've hit parking, recruitment, tech worries, financial pressure.
All these challenges, and they circle back to this need for driver empowerment, finding ways to put you back in the driver's seat of your own life.
Which is exactly why that vision from Life as a Trucker feels so relevant. They're, quote, committed to helping you be able to get out on your terms.
Yeah, and Hervey's big recommendation, training truckers on how to use AI in order to create extra streams of income.
AI. Interesting. How does that help?
Think of it as a shield from some of the ups and downs of freight rates in the economy, building something extra.
Okay, like a side income.
Exactly. Recurring month after month income, something that helps you retire when you want to, or maybe just soften the blow should your trucking company cease to exist.
Gives you options. Independence.
It's about building that solid financial future, truly on your own terms.
And it comes down to managing your time, doesn't it? Not just for the shippers, but for yourself.
Yes, using that off-duty time wisely to learn new skills and build online income streams.
The sources mentioned a specific resource for this.
Retirefromtrucking.com. They've got a free guide to help you prepare for retirement and training on AI tools. Worth checking out.
So it's about being proactive, managing time, building financial freedom, making sure you control your future.
That's empowerment, providing real pathways. That's the kind of respect and support drivers deserve, choosing your own journey.
Wow, we covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. The whole trucking world, laws, tech, parking, personal struggles.
Yeah, it's complex. But the main thread seems clear. Things are changing fast, external forces are strong.
But your ability to adapt, stay informed, and build your own foundation, that's your biggest strength.
Couldn't agree more. Financial independence is key.
Absolutely. So here's something to think about as we wrap up. With all this change, new tech, new rules, how will you use your off-duty time, maybe learn some new skills, to make sure your journey on and off the road is really on your terms, securing your future, not just the next load?
Definitely check out those resources. Retirefromtrucking.com, lifeasatrucker.com. Learn about taking control of your income, your future. It's in your hands.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Stay safe out there.
Catch you next time.